I love late bloomer living.
Happy third podcast birthday, Yvonne.
I am so happy for you and so proud of you for your 3-year anniversary, which you know in the podcast world is a lifetime.
Hi, Yvonne. I wanted to wish you a very happy 3-year anniversary on your podcast, Late Bloomer Living.
I'm excited for you as you celebrate your podcast anniversary.
I love the conversations, the inspiration you bring to your podcast and to every platform you're on.
Yvonne, thank you so much for your podcast and all the inspiration you send my way.
Congratulations on the 3rd anniversary of Late Bloomer Living. There are a lot of podcasts out there, but few, I think, that have the power to make a real difference in people's lives.
Listening to your podcast has really inspired me to just go ahead and just do it, like Nike says.
I hope you have a great 3rd year anniversary. Wow, you go. So proud of you.
Hello, you are listening to the Late Bloomer Living podcast, where we are reimagining and redefining what it means to be in midlife, where we are gathering energy, momentum, and excitement for our next chapter via candid conversations with other midlifers about their own pivots, pitfalls, and triumphs. I'm Yvonne Marchese, your host, and I'm so happy you're here. Adulting can be hard, but you don't have to go it alone. I created this podcast to give you inspiration and let you know you're not alone in feeling stuck in midlife. Both men and women are welcome here, but if you are a woman, I also invite you to join our Midlife Uprising community for women, where we're making waves and reimagining what it means to age. Being part of this community for women will remind you on a regular basis that you're not too old and it's never too late to do that thing you've been thinking about. You can find more information at latebloomerliving.com/community, and I hope to see you there. Hello, my friend. Oh my goodness. It's been 3 years since I started this podcast. Whew. And today, I am celebrating in the best way I know how. I put out a call to listeners, friends, and podcast guests asking you guys to leave me a voice message so I could include your voices on this episode. I wanted to hear from you about what you are excited about at this point in your life. And I'm so overwhelmed by all the love and wisdom that you guys sent me. It makes me want to cry joyful tears. Frankly, when I listened to some of these messages and thought about including them on the podcast, I got a little squirmy because of what felt like a tsunami of love in your messages. It feels self-congratulatory to include them, but that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm celebrating. I think we so often push aside our accomplishments and the compliments we get from other people, and I'm here to say, no, don't do that. I'm saying that to myself and you, by the way. When you have a win, celebrate it. When someone compliments you, don't push it away because it makes you uncomfortable. Instead, let it wash over you. Say thank you. Take it in. Let it fuel you. Revel in your accomplishments. I believe that in doing so, we can gather the energy we need to move forward to our next challenges, no matter our age, of course. There was a certain amount of serendipity that comes into play regarding who sent me messages. I basically sent an email out to everybody on my email list asking whoever is on the email list to send me a message. And I also asked friends who I talk to all the time. I also asked people in my mastermind And so I have a variety of voices that are here for you today. And I'm so excited about how it serendipitously all came together, because there are so many voices here that I think are living proof and examples of people who are making waves as they age, people who are not stopped by the number that is assigned to their age. And I can't wait for you to hear them and take heart and take inspiration from what they're up to. So, without further ado, here's your messages. Thank you so much for taking time to celebrate with me. The first two voices you're going to hear are Carrie Zarb and Kim White, who are, let's just say, two of my biggest cheerleaders. And let me give you some context. About a year and a half ago, January of 2022, I was just getting started with producing an online summit called Midlife Uprising. And I've never done anything like that before. And I was already recognizing the signs of me getting stuck in my head. So I decided to join a mastermind program with some people that I had gotten to know through Clubhouse. So I had a pretty good sense of these people, and I trusted them already. It was a 13-week program. And all of a sudden, the theme to Gilligan's Island has popped into my head. Anyone? A 3-hour trip, a 3-hour trip. Okay, so 13 weeks has turned into a year and a half. And there's a very good reason for that. Being part of the community that Kim and Carrie have put together has been phenomenal. Watching other people in the mastermind grow is inspiring. Having them to talk to once a week is so inspiring. I can't tell you enough good things about what this experience has been. So the two messages that they have left me are very cheerleadery, but I do want to shout out their accomplishments, because they are two ladies in midlife. Carrie's a little younger and Kim's about my age. And they are just rocking and rolling and making waves. And they co-host a couple of podcasts together. One of them is called Buckets and Boom Gates. The other one is Simply Biz Beans. I think there may be a third one they do together too. Oh my goodness. And I just watch what they accomplish all the time and how they do it with joy and service, and it really inspires me. So I wanted you to know that. So here they are.
Hey there, listeners, and Yvonne, thank you for this awesome idea to have guest voices on your podversary. This is your friend Kerry Zarb coming to you from the land down under. G'day, mate. Yvonne, you are a true rock star. I just love tuning into your episodes, and I have way too many favourites to mention in this short message. I am just blown away by your tenacity of having this podcast for 3 solid years. That is nothing to be dismissed or overlooked or anything that anyone could possibly. It's just incredible. I know what it takes to bring a podcast together, and you do it so well. Happy 3rd podcast birthday, Yvonne. Thank you for everything you do for midlifers, and keep being our inspiration for what's possible as we age.
Yvonne, thank you so much for your podcast and all the inspiration you send my way. I feel like I have gotten to know a lot of people through you and through your podcast that are like me. We are doing things in our midlife or beyond that may not be the norm. And so I feel like you, Yvonne, yourself, have inspired me in so many ways. I just want to say thank you.
Okay, the next voice you're going to hear is one of my fellow masterminders, the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. And the one of the first things that you need to know about Kat is, first of all, she is a total rock star and has had to reinvent herself a few times over. Kat joined the Air Force as a young single mother and, much to her own surprise, ended up serving a full 20 years. She retired when she was 42 years old and found herself adrift and unprepared for civilian life. She ended up becoming a personal trainer and a Pilates instructor in her 40s. Here's what's really cool is that over the years, Kat found that she was missing her connection to other military women. So she started working with the Women's Veteran Network, which is this nationwide network of peer support groups that are specifically for women veterans. And then she saw a need to reach more women veterans with information and inspiration. So at the age of 63, she decided to launch a podcast called Sisters in Service, where she helps other women veterans make the transition from military to civilian life. She is in her 60s now, still teaching Pilates. That's just part of her story, which she'll fill you in on in a moment. I mean, what can I say about this woman? Okay, so I'm going to let you just hear her voice next. And yeah, she is truly freaking fabulous. And by the way, one of Kat's missions is to help other women discover their own freaking fabulosity. Here she is.
Hi, Yvonne. It's the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. I am so happy for you and so proud of you for your 3-year anniversary, which you know in the podcast world is a lifetime. And I know that in 3 more years, you're probably going to have 3 or 4 podcasts. Who knows? You know, the world is open to you. But I wanted to speak a little bit about what I'm doing new. And you know, being my mastermind partner, that I launched Small Space Pilates last year and launching a business as a midlife woman. I will be 66 this month. Holy crap, it's June. That it can be a little scary. I didn't know all the things, but you know what? It didn't matter. I wanted to do it. I learned what to do and how to do it. And I am officially married to the word entrepreneur. And I know for a lot of people that sounds weird, but I never thought of myself as a business owner. I didn't know that I was really an entrepreneur, but now I am, and I'm proud to say that. So again, Yvonne, thank you for being my mastermind partner. And thank you for just being on this ride with me. I'm super proud of you. Love you, girl. Bye.
Right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm very excited to also introduce you to my next voice. What do I say about this woman? Oh, I love her. Lou Blazer, who is the second person that I ever interviewed on this podcast. And I didn't know her when I asked her to be on the podcast. I knew of her through another business networking group that I was in. And I'd heard her on another podcast and I thought, she sounds really nice. I love her story. I wonder if she'd come be my guest. And I asked, and she did. And we have since become really good friends and have partnered together, and you might recognize her name if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, because she is a sponsor of this podcast with her newsletter, Midlife Cues, which is the bomb, by the way. She's got a podcast of her own called Second Breaks, and yeah, here she is. Gosh, I'm having so much fun doing this.
Hi, Yvonne. This is your friend, Lou Blazer. You asked me what I'm excited about. Actually, I'm excited about several things. I'm excited about our friendship and our continued collaboration. I'm excited for you as you celebrate your podcast anniversary. Beyond that, I'm excited about my little projects for Midlife Cues and for Second Breaks. There's actually one in particular that I'm working on that gets me really excited to turn on the laptop every day so I can work on it. And I'm also excited about my return to the US, which has been delayed, but it's happening soon. So yay. I love that you asked this question because it's so important that we continue to be excited about life, right? So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your podversary episode. Cheers.
Okie dokie. So the next voice you are going to hear is my friend Mike Foley, who started off as a photography client. He came to me to get headshots done. So Mike is an award-winning playwright, and he writes solo monologues. He spent 25 years working as both a playwright and a freelance speech and business writer for senior executives at Fortune 500 companies. And when he came to me for the first round of headshots that we did for him, he was kind of retired and was deciding that he was going to get back into acting. And since then, we've become good friends. I had him on the podcast to talk about getting back into acting and how he recovered after the abrupt death of his first wife. And that was, oh goodness, what podcast episode number was that? That was episode number 43, if anybody wants to go back and hear his story. Just such a great guy. And thank you, Mike, for taking the time to leave me a message as well. This is just filling my cup. Thanks, guys.
Yvonne, hi, it's Mike Foley here. First of all, congratulations on the 3rd anniversary of Late Bloomer Living. There are a lot of podcasts out there, but few, I think, that have the power to make a real difference in people's lives as Late Bloomer Living does. Week after week, you demonstrate to your listeners that they do have the power to change their lives and achieve their dreams, regardless of age. When you asked me to be on the show, I was surprised because I had assumed your guests were people in their 40s or 50s, people who are truly midlife, whereas I was solidly in my late 60s and past what anyone would call midlife. So how would my story be interesting? But as our interview went forward, I realized I did have something of value to share with your listeners. I had made a big career move in my 40s from acting to play and speech writing, and I was making another significant change then in my 60s, writing and performing in one-person shows. Today I'm 71 and I'm still shaking things up. I'm writing a novel based on my life. It's scary, it's intimidating to be working in an entirely new medium at my age, but I'm not letting it stop me. And I believe that is in part a result of what I learned from being on Late Bloomer Living. So please keep up your good work. All the best to you in year 4 and beyond.
Thanks again, Mike. Oh my goodness. I'm having so much fun. Okay, so next up, we have the inimitable Lynn McNutt. Lynn is an actor, singer, mover, creator, writer, wanderer, and wayfarer. She has over 25 years of experience as a professional actress and singer working in national tours off Broadway. I mean, my goodness, she is the real deal. I met Lynn back when my husband was going to graduate school for classical acting. And oh my goodness, fell in love with her. And she has now been on the podcast not once, but twice. She was, I believe, episode number 78, and more recently, episode 142, where we were doing a Where Are They Now episode. If you missed that, go get it. Go get both of them. They're both wonderful. The first time I had Lynn on, we talked about her solo hiking adventures on the Florida Trail. And this latest time she was on, we were talking about her first time writing, producing, and acting in a solo one-woman show, which just went up as a workshop production at the Theater Lab in Florida Atlantic University. And I had her on with her director. Oh my goodness. Go back and listen. Amazing. So here's Lynn. That's about all I have to say for now.
I love Late Bloomer Living. Congratulations, Yvonne, on 3 years of an amazing podcast. I've learned so much from all of your guests. I'm so happy that I've been able to be a guest myself twice. My show Blue that I just recently did was a wonderful success. And being on your podcast was an immense help to me and my director. And I just can't say enough good things about what you're doing in your community. And keep up the good work.
Thanks, Linny. Oh my goodness. So our next voice is one of my oldest friends. Not oldest, but let's just say we have been friends since high school. She was the first guest on my podcast, and actually one of the reasons I think that I have a podcast today, because she had her own podcast some years ago. So she's a cancer survivor, I think, 5 times over, and getting through her cancer treatments and everything else inspired her to become a cancer coach at that time. And so she had this podcast. She was known as Donita Mama Bear. She has recently reinvented herself, and I am going to be having her on the podcast again at some point. Hello, Donita. You're coming back on the podcast to talk about starting a whole new phase of her life, and she's just exploding. I mean, people are coming to her left and right because she's doing such good work for them, and it's incredible. So without further ado, here is my friend Donita Wheeler.
Hello, my beautiful friend. I'm so grateful for everything you do, especially for the rising up of midlife. Woo! Since I talked to you last, I have opened a brand new company. It's called Donita Wheeler, and I am an energetic therapist where I take traditional talk therapy and I use my energetic ability to read the energy in a situation to move you through it in a quicker fashion. And I also do stacked energy workshops that removes old energy, ancestral energy, previous lives energy that may be blocking you, making you go in circles like crazy. I also do the herapy, where it's just about the her and our challenges with boundaries and forgiveness and balance and all of those things, and what we ultimately do for service, like you do here. So I am very grateful for your platform. It keeps me laughing and going and understanding not to take midlife so seriously. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great 3rd year anniversary. Wow, you go. So proud of you. Love it. Thanks for your constant support.
And here's a message from a dear friend of mine celebrating her accomplishments as a mom through the accomplishments of her daughter. And I think if you're a parent, you'll be able to relate to this for sure.
I am super excited about my firstborn, Josie Quinn, graduating from high school in 2 weeks, and for all the amazing opportunities that are presented to her. She has truly shined in the aftermath of COVID and has done an incredible job navigating all the obstacles that were thrown at these kids during that time. My excitement for her grows and deepens daily as Josie has been accepted into an accelerated program at the University of Hartford. The thought of all the possibilities she will experience in the next 4 years gives me butterflies. I am beyond proud and excited for what's ahead for this wonderful, independent, beautiful, and driven kid. Endless possibilities makes me, her mom, absolutely ecstatic, excited, and knowing that I did an amazing job raising her is a good, nice little pat on the back. Thank you, Yvonne. You're amazing too. Love you.
The next voice is my friend Jack Perez, who is a badass. Just did everything, really. I actually reached out to her specifically to ask her to leave me a message about the solo world traveling that she has been doing as of late. She recently went to Vietnam, for example, as a solo traveler through a program I think called Remote Year. And it just captured my imagination, and I thought it might be interesting for you to hear about as well. So here she is.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Perez, better known as Jack, and I'm a pro-aging champion and the founder and CEO of Cool Life, which is a digital platform dedicated to normalizing aging for women, midlife and beyond. And what I want to tell you, ladies, is if you're thinking you want to start traveling or you would like to travel, don't think about it anymore. Get off the mark. Do it. Let me let you know I have been doing an extensive amount of solo traveling and plan on continuing. The amount of pride I get from managing the world on my own and the richness of the experiences and of the individuals I meet, it helps me stay alive and active. It keeps my curiosity piqued. So, as I said, if you're contemplating traveling, stop the contemplation and start acting.
I approve that message. You know, speaking of, stopping the contemplation and starting acting, I'm guessing you come to listen to this podcast because you believe you're meant for something more, somewhere deep in you. There's something that's brought you here. And whatever it is that you are thinking of doing, I want to remind you, you're not too old and it's never too late. And stop contemplating and start acting. Baby steps will carry you through. I promise. Once you start those little steps, things start to happen. And then you fill in the blanks. The next message is from another dear friend of mine from our mastermind group. Her name is Denise Millay. We like to call her the findability queen because, oh my gosh, she helps all of us make sure that people can find the content that we're putting out. A lot of us in the mastermind are podcasters, blog writers, different things like that. And she really takes the language and jargon around SEO and makes it so simple for us. And Denise, thank you so much for leaving me a message. Here she is, Miss Denise Millay.
Yvonne, I am so lucky to have encountered you and been a part of your group and your community. I am doing my best to not just be my age, to let my age limit me. Because of you, I am opening my eyes to all the things that I can do and that I still want to do. And it's okay for me to do that. And I love the conversations, the inspiration you bring to your podcast and to every platform you're on. I appreciate you and all that you do. Thank you so much.
Ah, this feels like such a whirlwind of love. So the next voice you're going to hear is another friend from our mastermind group. His name is Adam Rothenberg. Adam, for the past 14 plus years, has been interviewing people in the entertainment industry. He has interviewed Broadway stars, entertainers, famous people, and he's got over 1,500 interviews he's done. He's got a show called Call Me Adam. Like many in our mastermind group, Adam has finally stepped away from working at a corporate job and is an entrepreneur now. He has started teaching other podcasters and people who want to interview celebrities how to approach those celebrities, how to approach guests to get them on their podcasts and blogs and different things like that. So he shared just such an enormous amount of how-to information with the rest of us. And he's just one of the sweetest, most humble people I know. who is just generous beyond belief. And here's Adam.
Hi, Yvonne. I wanted to wish you a very happy 3-year anniversary on your podcast, Late Bloomer Living. And I wanted to thank you for showing me that it's never too late to try something new, no matter what age I am, or to rediscover a favorite pastime. I wish you much continued success and keep being the age agitator that you are.
Last but not least, certainly by any means, this voice comes from somebody who's a listener, who is on my email list, who got brave and left me a message. And I'm so happy that you did, Susan. I'm going to let this be the last voice for this anniversary issue, because I'm just so inspired and impressed. Here's Susan Lopresti.
Hi, Yvonne. This is Susan Lopresti, and I just wanted to let you know that your podcast has been inspiring me, because I was 60 years old 3 years ago when I lost my corporate job of 27 years, and I was at a crossroads because I wasn't ready to retire, yet I wasn't willing to go back to corporate America ever again. I had already been certified as a health coach, a Reiki practitioner, and also a meditation practitioner. So I decided that I was going to get a business going for health coaching. And so I've done that. And I also, at 62 years old, last year, actually in May, I started a podcast, Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, Soul. And listening to your podcast has really inspired me to just go ahead and just do it, like Nike says. So thank you so much for all that you bring to the group to listen to your podcast, and I so appreciate you. Have a great day.
Well, my friend, thank you so much for being on this ride with me. I am completely blown away by these voices. Susan, thank you for leaving that message. And it makes me want to speak to anybody who loses a job in midlife before you're ready to retire. It's not the end. It doesn't have to be the end. There are so many ways to move forward. And I love, Susan, that you decided to take matters into your own hands and move forward in opening a business and being a coach and starting a podcast. Yes. Oh my goodness. 3 years. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back next week with another amazing guest. And in the meantime, stay safe and well. Talk soon.